Good morning.
Got some questions here.
Yeah.
Which ones we covering today?
Let's do a twofer, right? A little 2-in-1 combo. One of the questions was our thoughts on GLP-1s, things along those lines. The big O shot, right? And then another one, a great question was supplements, thoughts on them, when to take them, if to take them. You want to start out? You can cover the supplements, and then I kind of want to circle back into a little something, but
All right. Yeah. So as far as supplements go, I think supplementing can be a great choice for people to supplement with, not necessarily becoming dependent on things like pre-workout, recovery, creatine, protein, all that stuff, but using it as an actual supplement. So, if you're trying to fulfill all your nutrition with whole natural foods, but you're falling short, or you do need help with recovery outside of getting adequate rest and stretching and active recovery, then it's a good idea to look into, some sort of recovery supplement. Then I do feel like creatine is very, very beneficial though for everybody.
Yes, and that's another thing where and this is where I want us to kind of wrap them all together, because it's not going to be a one size fits all answer. It just depends. And at the end of the day, whether it's a GLP-1, whether it's creatine, whether it's something like that, like understanding what your goals are, what you're trying to take a supplement for, and then you hit the nail once again, as always, on the head with it's there to supplement, not to replace, not to take over. Your goal should always be trying to do things with an holistic approach, with an all natural approach, and that's going to be more sustainable long term. But then also, if you're not doing that, understanding what are the side effects? What are side effects of taking something at a prolonged period? What does the science say? What are the studies coming out? And then obviously the number one thing, talking to your primary care provider and seeing what they are suggesting, but then also making sure they're suggesting and giving you all the information to set you up for success and not failure at a later time down the road. For example, caffeine. We talked about big words, not using them, but caffeine is an ergogenic aid, and it is the most abused substance in the world, right? But you don't see people harping on caffeine as much as you do these other things because it's more socially acceptable, and then you can dial it up or down depending on what you need it for, right? We take protein. I know I take protein on the days where I am going to be moving, and I'm using it to supplement after a workout as fuel to get me to the next meal. I'm not using it to replace my lunch, though. Now, what are your thoughts on like pre-workout?
Me personally, I do not use pre-workout. I do understand why some people would, like they feel like they need it in order to, get motivated in the gym and get a good pump and all that good stuff. But I do not take pre-workout.
Yeah, see, and I do. Not all the time, though. And it really depends on what I'm training for. If I am training and I want to get the most out of my session, I may take a pre-workout with a pump factor in it, like a vasodilator, open up my blood vessels, get more blood to my muscles, get me a little bit more of a pump, right? That's the whole purpose behind it. But once again, if you're taking it for the caffeine factor, for that itchy burning feeling, just to get you a little motivation, ask yourself, why can't you do that on your own? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And then it comes down to, are we addicted to caffeine? Are we addicted to that feeling? Is it a placebo effect at that point? It just depends. And so there's a time and a place for everything, and there's not a one answer that fits everything. You just have to find out what works best for you and do your own research to make sure it works with your body, or talk to your primary care provider.
Now, there are pre-workouts that are stim-free. I have a huge appreciation for those because those do work with like opening up the blood vessels and then helping you with focus.
Yes.
And there's normally you find a little bit of energy from those as well. So there are pre-workouts that are stim-free, and then there's also some that are just loaded with caffeine.
Yep.
Which if you're a coffee drinker and say you're drinking a pot a day, and then on top of that, you're going to slam. That's us.
That's us.
And then you're going to slam a pre-workout, which is like it could be anywhere from like 200 to 400 milligrams of caffeine. Like at some point, you are not helping yourself whatsoever.
You're not. And we realize that. We reset, right? Like we know that. So Don't abuse supplements. Don't abuse any outside factors or aids. And at the end of the day, you cannot replace hard work and discipline.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.